Good afternoon. Welcome to Big Human Dead.
Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are, Big Human Dead, back again.
Finally.
Yes.
I am Buddy Black, a.k.a. Neil McKay, and this is my good friend Rob Ayers.
Servus.
Say hello, Rob. All right, there we go. And we do this podcast as an excuse to talk to each other about horror movies and comic books, etc. So, you guys are getting bored of hearing this because we kind of have to say it all the time. But we.
It's true. It's true, and it's almost weird. It's weird that we keep mentioning this stuff because it is a podcast. Like they're choosing to come to us. You're choosing to come to us all the time, so you kind of know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's skip it this week. Let's just skip it this week.
You're like the consummate performer, though. Like you're big swinging musical dick in Toronto. Like you're used to the radio gig. You're used to the hack show where you got to get up and get on the airwaves and broadcast and reset after every commercial.
Yeah, I love resetting. You can't not reset.
Yes,
seriously. Anyways, so kind of embarrassingly big news.
Yeah.
I am 32 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I have loved horror movies since I was like 12 years old. So that is a good 20 years.
Yeah.
And last night, for the first time in my entire life, I saw Fright Night.
No, come on, man.
No, I know it's really stupid. It's really embarrassing. But yeah, no, I saw it. I don't know what my problem was, but no, I saw it for the very first time last night. Yeah,
like that was. I feel like that was pre-installed in my consciousness.
Yeah, I know it's stupid.
When I was a kid.
Sorry.
Fright Night. Wow. And did you like it? How was it? Did
it
treat you okay?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. No, it was really good.
Was it the original, of course?
Yeah, the original. The original. Yes. Of course.
Right on.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but the interesting thing, and given that you and I, do a comic book together and everything.
Yeah.
I knew I would work in it. You knew I would work
yes.
in there somehow.
I was hoping you would. Even though I don't want to admit it, but I was hoping you would.
Okay, reset. So, given that you and I do a comic book together, I found this interesting. So I was just looking up, IMDb trivia and all that stuff about Fright Night after it was over. And I guess they did a little comic book series about the continuing adventures of Peter Vincent and whatever the kid's name was. I can't remember what the kid. I only saw it yesterday. I can't remember the kid's name.
I don't remember. I saw it
too long ago. I'm gonna say something stupid. It's gonna be Billy or Tommy or something.
It was one of those.
Yeah, but yeah, they did a comic book where the two of them.
They did a Peter Vincent comic. What is like a Topps comic book or something? Like one of these.
I have no idea. I have
photographic cover comics.
I've had zero time to go out and read all of these comics.
Okay.
But yeah, no, they did a like a mini series. Actually, I think they did a couple of mini series. Peter Vincent and whatever the main kid's name from Fright Night was.
Yeah.
Where they're vampire killers and they go out and kill vampires, which I thought was awful. pretty freaking cool. Actually.
Yeah. That's what I meant. I misspoke. I meant to say pretty freaking cool. Awful just kind of slipped out.
Yeah. Well, that's what the kids call. That's how the kids say cool.
Yeah. Back when I was a kid, we would say, "Oh, that's awful."
Oh, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah. That's the worst.
Every time.
Oh, I'd rather nail my hand to the floor than do that again.
That's Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was sort of thinking,
Yeah.
Would there be any spin-offs?
Yes.
Could we talk about spin-offs that we'd like to see?
I'm willing to say that I think for horror junkies or any movie junkie, for movie or comic junkie, any junkie of media, I'd say 80% of conversations probably revolve around a spin-off or subplot of any kind in a movie. Because I feel like the the go-to expression for any two fans stuck in a room together is, wouldn't it be cool if?
Yeah.
And that's just pure spin-off fodder. Right
or wouldn't it be fucking terrible if
yes, exactly. Depending on the mood, how many empty bottles are lying around, or how many bottles are still full lying around. It determines wouldn't it be awesome or wouldn't it suck if. And that's all just spin-off. That's all just one scene or one subplot or one character that just dug itself into the gray matter and is now got those gears going.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good idea. Let's run down some spin-off, expanded moment, subplot, character expansion, madness.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. It was my suggestion. So of course
your suggestion.
I'm down with it. Yeah.
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 You suggest, but hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did something like that? No, I didn't think so either.
Yeah. I guess let's just talk about werewolves. Let's just,
Yes, I actually watched a couple movies recently that have my gears going, in particular on spin-offs and subplots. The things that I think some of them are, what's the word, warranted or implied by the movie itself.
Yeah.
And some, I'm sure, are just my own wiggly imagination.
Okay.
Yeah. So first off, and I wanted to talk to you about this anyway, is me and Cassie had just watched some Halloween movies.
Okay. Yep.
And like the Halloween bunch of movies from the Halloween franchise.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
And I'm not even like a Halloween nut, but I've seen these movies 100 times anyway, and I enjoy them. I think they're really fun. But there's a few, especially in Halloween 4, 5, and 6. There's a few points that I think is worth discussion. The first point, which I wonder what you would think about this, that I think is super cool that they did not expand upon in any way after part 4, is at the end of part 4, Michael is allegedly killed, and Haddonfield is safe once again.
Yeah.
And Dr. Sam Loomis, one of my favorite characters in any movie ever, played by the amazing Donald Pleasance. He hears something, some scream or whatever, upstairs because he brought young Jamie home, played by the great Danielle Harris. And we find out that Danielle Harris has a bloody knife and is dressed like a clown, just like Michael Myers was in the first movie. And she had killed her mother or stepmother or whatever, or stepmother, because she's supposed to be Laurie Strode's daughter, but adopted. Blah, it's convoluted nonsense just to keep the franchise going. But anyway, it would seem that she has taken up the mantle of a soulless psycho killer at the young age of 9, just like Michael did, or her uncle did. And I thought this was really interesting. And the first time I saw it, I thought, that's pretty cool. Like that implies that the evil, this, lifeless, soulless killer gene is really just that. It's a gene, it's genetic. And it's kind of supernatural in that now that the main psycho killer in the family is dead, now it has to move on to the next one. Yeah. So this evil is not only genetic, but it's like it's its own thing that doesn't want to die. And so it just goes into young Jamie, and now she's going to be the killer. But now we get to see it as a child with new techniques and methods of child psychology. How do you deal with it?
Through the eyes of a child, we get to experience
innocence and magic and wonder of a child's universe. But back in like the first one, you have Michael Myers, and they could just explain it away in 1978 that they just put him away in a home until he's grown up.
Yeah.
But now it's the 90s or the late 80s when this one came out, or the mid 80s. And there's Dr. Spock's how to raise a child and stuff like that. What do you do if the child is a super psycho killer? But unfortunately, part 5 and 6 came out and they never mentioned this again.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Sam Loomis mentions it once in part 5, but it's mentioned only to be explained away. That, Jamie has this psychic link to Michael Myers, and that's why she attacked her stepmother with a knife. But anyway, I thought this was a cool setup, which turned into a subplot, but then was just kind of discarded as something that kind of happened in the last movie.
Yeah.
Would you watch a movie where young 9-year-old Jamie, is a killer to the extent that Michael Myers was?
Maybe.
Yeah. It would never get made because child labor laws and all that shit. But
I mean, I don't know. They did it with like The Good Son. The Good Son. Macaulay Culkin's a murderer.
That's a nice romp. I dig that one.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. There was I really, really dig the slasher movies for sure. Yeah. But insofar as the slasher sort of franchises go, like after usually after 2, definitely after 3.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder what the hell's going on here. Like, we're
really?
we're only addressing symptoms of the problem. We're not addressing the actual issue itself.
That's funny. Like after part 3 of any franchise, that's when like my motor starts firing on all cylinders.
Really?
Yeah, that's when I really start thinking, all right, like now I'm in for the long haul now. I've already given this franchise at least 5 to 6 hours of my life for the part 1, 2, and 3. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. So let's see what we can do. I mean, I'll stick with the franchise until they go to space.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love it. The more, the better in a franchise.
Actually, it's I guess kind of segue-ish. I was thinking about Cabin in the Woods.
I love that.
Just
movie.
It's kind of just every sort of
slasher
cabinet. It's every horror movie.
It's every horror movie and the franchise that followed, all crammed into one film.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
And I was thinking, I love that movie so much, and I really, really love the Mission Control guys.
Yes.
And it would be a shitty movie because you can't destroy the cabin in the woods in every movie, obviously.
Right.
But I think I could watch a couple of shorts,
with those guys.
Just like a couple of 30, 40 minute, short films about how Mission Control was successful.
Yeah.
And all these other times. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I could easily watch some spin-offs of that.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. I really like them. I think that was just such a well-balanced movie. And even really the parts were well-balanced with the whole taking the common cliches and the stereotypes and then balancing it with how people would really act. And then you take the Mission Control guys and they're balanced with, being so celebratory and gallows humor. But then you kind of see, it is gallows humor because the job they have, it sucks so hard.
Yeah.
It's so ethically exhausting.
Yeah.
And I thought that that movie's really sharp.
So, yeah. So I mean, it would be. It's not really a movie because you know how it's going to end all the time.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think I'd like to see some. I mean, I was thinking of. I thought of the Cabin in the Woods. The other one that I had thought about was Let the Right One In.
Mm-hmm.
The just the relationship between I can't remember her name either, but the young girl vampire or whatever, the girl vampire and her 45, 50-year-old helper.
Right.
And how it was implied throughout the entire film that the 50-year-old had once been the like had met the vampire when he was just a young boy's age, and they had a similar sort of relationship.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool to see.
I think I'd like to see that. I think that would be cool. Yeah,
especially in that quiet style.
Yeah.
Then it would be okay.
But
on the opposite end, no, good.
Go ahead.
On the opposite end of that, I would like to go back to Halloween 5. And also in Halloween 6. Sorry, it's really on my mind. They introduced this Satanist cult of influential whomevers that constantly cover for Jason and try to guide him to whatever end. They actually never make it clear what the ends are.
You mean Michael Myers?
Oh, yeah, shit.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, just for anyways. Yeah.
Jason, Michael, Pinhead, they're all the same. It's all the same.
Really,
fucking.
By the time you get to the fifth and the sixth one, they are literally all of this. They are literally all the same. Yeah. Yes, correct.
Yeah, and they this Satanist cult, I thought it was kind of interesting, but they never actually pulled the trigger completely on it because they never showed like what the motivation was for controlling such a person as Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And I also kind of like this satanic control cult because they're a little slow on the draw with this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the satanic cult craze, came and went and burned up all the crops back in the early 80s at the latest. And now Halloween 5 or Halloween 6 is going to come in and revitalize that whole idea. It's a little doubtful, my friend, a little doubtful. But they tried it anyway, and I appreciate their gumption. But then, then all of it just disappeared, and it was nothing. But I don't know if it was my adolescent brain that worked some kind of balance with all this, but it clearly didn't work. Like in the end of part 6, Michael Myers kills all of the satanic doctor cult members who are trying to do something with babies and stuff like that. And he just murders them just because he's Michael Myers, because he's a psycho killer.
Sure.
And this made me connect the uncontrollability to him actually not being a mindless freak like Sam Loomis and the franchise itself wants us to believe. And this is also one of the reasons why I think people who freaked out about the Rob Zombie Halloween movies don't actually, I don't know. I think they just wanted to freak out about something because I think I like Rob Zombie's Halloween movies a lot. I think they're really good horror movies. They're good movies.
Yeah.
And
he's a good director. Actually, I really like.
Agreed.
I might have zero taste whatsoever, but I don't know why everyone hated fucking House of a Thousand Corpses so hard. I thought that was a great movie. I
think it's fun. Actually, I think Rob Zombie hates that movie, to be honest.
Does he actually? Oh.
Yeah. But he had a lot of problems with the studio, so.
Oh, okay.
Subjective position there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a fun horror movie.
I thought it was a hell of a lot of fun. I wasn't, I don't think I was really expecting anything out of it, but it was pretty bitchin'. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of people's complaints about the Halloween movie, especially the first one, was that, we get this whole origin story of that Michael Myers was an abused child, abused by his stepfather, and his mother loved him but wasn't there for him, and blah blah blah, and all this, socioeconomic stuff, and so that's why he's a psycho killer. And the only way to make something less scary is to explain it. And so now we have an origin story, which makes it totally unscary. But I think that doesn't actually work for Michael Myers, because if you look at the franchise, Michael Myers is completely different than Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees and other such slashers, they're clearly mindless. They walk in a straight line. They kill whatever's in front of them.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's no agenda, really. There's just the moral, the moral play that the writers have to adhere to of sex, drugs, and adolescence needs to die. Yeah. This kind of thing.
Yeah,
but Michael
it's,
Myers.
Yeah, like very, very white, right-wing, conservative.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, all the slashers are like they're. Yeah, that's the agenda that they're trying to sort of fulfill.
Right.
You know?
And so the character itself is not actually a character. It's just a tool for that particular brand of storytelling.
Yeah.
But Michael Myers, that doesn't hold true actually, because if you watch the movies and binge on them, like I'm apt to do sometimes, Michael Myers imitates other people for his victims, even so far as the first movie. Like Jason Voorhees doesn't imitate or deceive anybody before he kills them. He just goes in and kills them. But Michael Myers in the first movie, he I don't remember any of the characters' names except for Laurie Strode in the first one. But there's the young, easy one, or the easier one. And she's tall, and she just had sex with her boyfriend in someone's house. And then she's like, well, give me a beer. And so he goes downstairs, gets a beer. Michael kills him. But before that, he's dressed as a ghost or something like that, you know? And so then Michael Myers comes back, but he's dressed as a ghost with, the glasses. Like he's dressed as her boyfriend before he kills her. This tells me that he's not a soulless psycho killer. He's actually an asshole with superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like, whereas like I think the actual name of like the undead creature is a revenant.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
like it's kind of it's not quite a mummy.
Right.
But it's more or less a mummy, where it's like there's just a vengeance agenda. Like that's all it is.
Yeah. And I think
so
this
with Freddy and with Jason,
mm-hmm.
they're just trying to, I don't know. They're just, I don't know, acts of revenge, fruitless, pointless acts of revenge for no goddamn reason. Whereas Michael Myers is just killing for the sake of killing.
Yeah. He's a poser, essentially. Yeah. He's a pure poser. When he's acting all slow like Jason, that's not it at all. Like, because he drives a car. The dude drives a car. He can drive a car. He drives a muscle car in part 5. That's like, you can't be a slouch and handle a muscle car like he does. He drives it just like the greaser does. Yeah. So like, he's got some agility. He knows how to work the clutch, hit, punch in a second gear. So he's Michael is he's not to be trusted.
Well, I mean, sorry, it's funny you mentioned the whole the white male conservative agenda sort of a thing. Like Halloween is very much like the textbook one of those where, Jamie Lee Curtis's character, she's the good girl.
Right.
She never gets, like all of her friends who are doing drugs and having sex and, skipping school and all of this shit, like they're getting killed. Mm-hmm. Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't get killed. But the important thing about that movie is that she is being chased by Michael Myers. She doesn't stop him. Mm-hmm. She goes to a male white cop,
right,
who shoots Michael Myers for her.
Yeah,
a
doctor.
No, I thought it was a cop.
I think a cop. He comes to help, but it's Dr. Sam Loomis that
right.
eventually
you're
kills him.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
But
you're
it's still
right.
that's.
But it's still an authority
it's still part
figure.
of the establishment.
Yeah, it's still an authority figure. Yeah. Kills Michael Myers, and then so she was able to survive by not doing anything rebellious, I guess,
right,
and B by
staying staying home and studying,
by asking a man to solve her problems for her. She was able to survive, which is like that movie's just so fucking weird.
Totally,
like
and
all
it's
over
like
the place. Yeah,
that's a running theme clearly, in a lot of the slasher movies, and it's hard to imagine that the filmmakers are so conservative, but I think it just resonates with us, the watcher, the viewing public, because that's kind of like the scariest thing. We don't want to be Laurie Strode, but to survive, we might have to, we would have to be that way. We can't have fun. So it's scary on that level. And it's scary because if we do give into what we want to do, we get killed.
Yeah.
And so
Well, there's a Grimm's fairy tale sort of vibe to it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Completely.
Where it's like, just don't misbehave.
Yeah,
Why?
listen to your betters.
Because you're gonna fucking die if
Right.
you misbehave, and
Yeah.
that's all the Grimm's fairy tales are. Yeah, they're
stay
just
home,
yeah.
help your community,
Yeah.
and listen to your elders. And you won't get your fucking face cut the fuck up.
So the one that I think I would most like to see.
Yeah.
I was thinking more about this yesterday. In Evil Dead 2,
Mhm.
I think when Ash first finds, it's either when he first turns on the tape recorder, there's like a little cutaway to this like castle in Damascus, I think is where it is.
Uh-huh.
And it's Professor Moody, his wife, his daughter, and his daughter's
Her hunky boyfriend, yeah.
hunky boyfriend. And yeah, it was just it was like not even 30 seconds. Like I think they just like showed them walking around the castle and then like finding this book, and they're all kind of like huddled around it.
Right.
Whatever. And even back then, I remember thinking like, that's pretty. That seems like it would be like. It seems like it would have to be sort of its own story, right? Like,
right.
Like there's stuff going on there, and like was Moody a badass? Like he was obviously, a wizard,
Right.
Like he was kind of a necromancer.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Like
he was
there
able to
any sort
decipher this stuff, and he knew how dangerous it was. Well,
Yeah.
No, he didn't know enough. He knew just enough to make it dangerous.
Yeah. And like, was there any sort of like Indiana Jones type shit going on in here?
Right.
Like, were there cultists
Yeah.
that were, that's a good question. And
Totally.
I was sort of kicking that around. I'm like, what, I may as well mention that because that's one, that counts. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Little adventure movie.
Yeah, but then I started thinking about how the Evil Dead franchise has no mythology.
No, not at all. It's just the evil.
Yeah, but I think it's implied. So if they go to Damascus, like we're talking sort of like Templar.
Yeah.
Like we're in sort of like Templar country.
Mm-hmm.
And if all of the Deadites are talking about, they're gonna take you to hell, and like she's whatever, like they kill someone and then their soul's down in hell just doing whatever.
Right.
Like, so we're talking sort of like either Jewish, Christian, sort of like somewhere kind of in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I would call me a nerd, but I think I'd actually like a little bit more of the backstory and with the Necronomicon and
Right.
what these Deadites, like, do they have an agenda? Like in the new Evil Dead movie, which I did end up seeing as well.
Yes.
It was okay.
I love it.
It was okay. It was okay.
I'm so
It was
forgiving though. Like I'm really a pushover, to be
Uh,
honest. The movie
I don't-
really has to fuck up before I am against it. I'm the first to admit I'm a softie when it comes to almost any horror movie.
No, I'm not going to sit down and watch a movie if I know I'm going to hate it. But in the case of like remakes and shit like that,
Yeah.
like you got to wonder why the fuck they remade it at all if they're going to change every goddamn thing about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
just-
think it was nice. I think they kept enough the same, and the rest was there were some tenuous connections to the original. But it was enough.
What's the point? Like, what's like, the one.
What's the point of anything Sam Raimi does in the last 20 years?
The one woman cuts her hand off with like a carving, with like an electric carving knife
Yeah,
as an
that's kinda cool.
homage to Bruce Campbell, like
Right.
doing so in Evil Dead 2. And it's like, just don't even do that. Why? Just stop it. Just stop doing that. Just do something else. You've already done something completely different with this whole goddamn movie, anyways.
Yeah.
Like now you're just pissing me off. Like,
Come on.
just stop.
Don't
It
be
was
like that.
okay. That's as far as I'm gonna go. Like it was okay. But the thing that I did like about it is that they explained why this evil was trying to kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was cool. I didn't
What
mind
was it?
that.
What was the reason? I don't remember what the reason
If
was.
they killed,
actually.
if this evil, I don't know, there's the spirit who was like the harvester of souls, and if he got 5 souls in one night, then this spirit would be resurrected.
Act? Really?
Did you not pay attention to the movie when it was on?
Oh, right. There was that. I really just thought that was just like a vague excuse to fuck up the people in the cabin in
Yeah, of
really
course.
cool ways.
No, and
but
that's totally-
I actually did not put it together that was actually a plot of any kind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just assumed it was that they took that from the original as well. That there's no
No.
plot. It's like, here's 5 people in this cabin, and now they're fucked.
Yeah.
Done. And I actually didn't realize that they weaved a plot out of that sticky yarn. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for them.
I think the plot in Evil Dead 2 was
I like the movie
that
even more now.
The sun, they had to. I think if the sun came up, they got to leave.
Yeah, the sun.
Like that wasn't gonna happen. Like
No.
it was, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
clearly it doesn't work because they spend a couple days in there, and it's, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't understand. But anyways,
Yeah.
no, I think it would be. Maybe they did some. Maybe they got into some more explanation with the comic books. Like
I didn't
I
read
don't know,
any of the
I haven't
comic
really
books.
read any of them.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that'd be kind of cool to see where the Deadites came from, see what their whole bag is.
yeah, just some kind of agenda. You
Yeah.
know, like, we got into. We kind of did that with every other kind of horror franchise.
Mhm.
With Freddy and Jason and Mikey
Yeah.
Myers and even like the Cenobites or the Hellraiser guys.
Yeah, right.
We did that with them too. So
Mhm.
with Evil Dead 2, we just sort of like, with the Evil Dead franchise,
Yeah,
we just kind of like pick up on what Ash is doing, like every 5 to 6 years.
Right.
Is the whole thing, which is, I guess that's kind of cool, but
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Is it cool because of the characters and the story, or is it cool because of Bruce Campbell? Because we get to see Bruce Campbell again.
I got mad at him around the time he released like 4 or 5 really, really god awful movies like in a row.
Yeah, but like he's an actor. He has to have fun. He's doing it. The man.
No,
What was it? The man.
yeah.
With the man with the brain who that
The
wouldn't
Man with the
die?
Screaming Brain.
The man with the screaming brain
was
and
awful.
that was rough.
My Name is Bruce. Was,
Yeah,
I
my
didn't-
name
I
is
didn't-
Bruce.
I didn't like
that one I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I guess the thing that pissed me off about Bruce Campbell there, and you and I have had this conversation before too. It's the reason that I love, those quote unquote B horror movies, whatever, is
Mhm.
that the people that are making them really think that they're making something awesome. Like
Right.
there's no irony
Mhm.
behind what they're doing, and that's why those movies are so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And like personally, I think that horror fans are probably like the least judgmental people.
Agreed.
You
We're
know,
a very
especially-
forgiving bunch
Yeah.
when it comes to the movies. If it's made with a straight face, just for us.
Yeah, yeah, and like look at something like
The Full Moon catalog.
yeah. No, you know what, and I will defend that because
You don't have to. No, seriously.
no,
like
I'm just
those
saying,
movies suck.
Like Full Moon has made a lot
Yeah.
of corny movies.
Yeah.
But they're done sincerely, which
Yeah.
is why they're so much freaking fun. Whereas
Mhm.
like, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Mm-hmm.
God awful movie.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible fucking movie. And I think it's because they were just poking too much fun at their genre, which is what I feel Bruce Campbell's done.
Mm-hmm.
He did for
Yeah.
like a little span there in the
Yeah.
sort of like the end of the 90s,
No.
early 2000s. Like
Totally.
I think he was just sort of like taking a piss, which
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate so much.
I don't know if he was taking. I don't know if it was that. Like I can totally see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also kind of when it happened when these movies came out and I saw them, I was more on the side of that he was kind of cashing in on his reputation, on his standing in the community, because he hadn't been in anything for a while. I mean, it had been a while since Xena and Hercules and Briscoe County Jr., which is one of the best television programs ever. And so, I don't know, I think maybe he just got an opportunity to do it and then did it. And I'm not discrediting what you're saying. I totally agree. Like that was really kind of those movies and all the movies like it. And I think that's what makes the sci-fi movies and the Roger Corman movies so shit. Yeah. Is that it's really just saying, oh, you guys like this kind of the old stuff that was kind of bad. Well, here, check this out, and it's just them pissing on us, just for a quick buck. And I agree that his movies were just the first of many pisses that have rained down on us. But I wonder how much.
I think. I was gonna because Bubba Hotep was incredible. Like Bubba Hotep was an amazing movie.
Yes,
really, really good. And like Bruce Campbell, he has he's smart.
Yeah,
and he's not fucking De Niro, but he can act. You know what
totally.
I mean? Like he's a professional actor. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he has celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at a good example is look at Jeffrey Combs. Like Jeffrey Combs, people fucking love that dude.
Yeah.
Basically based on the Reanimator.
Mm-hmm.
And then Reanimator 2, great movie. From Beyond, great movie. Castle Freak, great movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He's done some stuff. Most recently, maybe not most recently, but he did Would You Rather, which was a wicked fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's cashed in for sure, but he hasn't made a movie that parodies.
Yeah, he never mocked us or his fans.
Exactly. Which, I don't think The Man with the Screaming Brain was necessarily mocking us. But it was really fucking bad.
My feelings were hurt. I wrote my senator after that.
Did you actually?
I was so offended.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I have something for you.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying that okay. This is a little segment.
Okay.
That I myself wrote a theme song for.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Ready? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Spin-off subplot challenge. Brace yourself. It's the
okay. I saw this. This was initially a Japanese game show, correct?
Yes, it was indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after hours and hours of excruciating research, I think I finally cracked the code and distilled it down into its very essence.
Yeah.
And
into its true true pathos.
Yes. Into its final genesis. This is what Japan is finally going to come to. So Japan, if you're listening to this podcast, just
you're welcome.
You're welcome. All right. I'm going to give you the movie that has been made, and then I'm going to tell you three subplots or spin-off opportunities in that movie. And you're going to tell me which one is the one that's real, which one gets made, which is the spin-off that gets made. Okay.
Sorry, that has been made, or
No, it's
that will be made.
that will be made.
Okay.
There's three choices for each one.
And I suppose there are right and wrong answers.
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
you can't just go about willy-nilly,
Yeah.
doing spin-offs and subplots. Just
They can't. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
okay. Jason Voorhees, he comes back to life again. And this is it's a new movie. All of these are new movies.
Right, because they haven't been made yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in these new movies, there are, turns of the plot and things like that. And I'm going to give you
I see. Okay,
three
so
things that that happen, and you have to tell me which one is going
is
to be
the one that actually happens.
is
Yes.
the one that actually turns into the spin-off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Jason Voorhees comes back to life.
Very clear. Yeah. Okay.
Indeed. Yeah, that's like the Japanese style. That's one of the Japanese styles that I infused in this, the clarity and directness.
Have you seen this karaoke hand job game show? I'm serious.
No,
Have you seen this?
that's the name of my next band, though.
Karaoke hand job?
Yeah.
Dude, it's not it's not graphic. Like I wouldn't put it on in the library. But so basically the idea is that a dude is singing karaoke while a sexy babe gives him a hand job. And he has to make it to the end of the song in order for him to win.
Wow.
I don't know what he's winning. Like,
yeah,
it's just you would think, because it's not like
you
it's
could
not like
argue that he already won. Actually,
that's what I'm
just
saying. Judging from just even like the look of the guys participating on the show,
yeah,
I don't think they probably do more karaoke than anything else. So
right.
I don't understand what the
but
yeah, it's
living on a
no, it's ridiculous.
Lost.
It's total it's funny because it's so uncomfortable.
Wow.
But yeah, no, definitely.
Where do you see this kind of stuff? Is this like in the back of the back room of the video store near your place?
Go to YouTube. Go to
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah.
Right on.
I mean, you don't there's a curtain, you know what I mean? And I think
Yes.
there's no sound effects other than the guy trying to sing the song. But ridiculous.
Yeah.
Totally
check
ridiculous.
this out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to get back on track with this
Yeah.
game. Now I'm really
The reason I
fascinated
bring
about
that
this-
up is that
this-
I will be masturbating through.
Okay.
throughout the,
Right on.
I'm gonna just see if I can get to the end of the segment. That's
Yeah.
all. and if I do, I win.
Yes.
And I don't know what I win, but I win. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Jason's back. He goes to the Mac store to use the internet to find his next of kin,
Okay.
to murder them, obviously.
Yes.
His natural talent, they're at the Mac store and using this stuff, using the computer, he gets a job there and he becomes the manager in 2 years. He finds that he's got a real knack for computers.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
He's got a knack for Macs.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the first option.
Okay.
The second spin-off could be he scares the cemetery caretaker into following his dream of opening his own used CD shop. I mean, he comes back, he probably murders someone in the cemetery. The
Right.
caretaker witnesses it and says, life is too short. I need to follow my dream, otherwise that can happen.
Sure. Yeah.
The caretaker opens his secondhand CD shop and becomes the inspiration for a character in a remake of High Fidelity, where Zach Braff reprises John Cusack's role. Or the last option.
So is that in the movie?
That
So
could-
half the movie is the caretaker opening up the record store, while we see the movie within a movie.
Yeah.
Zach Braff remaking
exactly.
High Fidelity.
Yeah, I'm expounding upon a few of the in between details
Right.
You know, the
That's an interesting
minutia.
sounding movie. Yeah.
But in the movie itself, in the new Jason movie, it's really like Jason comes back. You see the shocked look on the caretaker's face.
And that's just the first act. And
yeah,
then
and then in the
2 and 3 is the movie within the movie remake of High Fidelity.
Right.
All
Yeah,
right.
sometimes.
I'd see that.
Sometimes
think.
it's just as simple as like later on in the movie, Jason passes by an old movie theater, and there's just a poster on the marquee for the new High Fidelity remake with Zach Braff.
Yeah.
And you just assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
course,
like, yeah, the spin-off would be the whole story behind that.
Right.
And then the last one is Jason is caught on video by a Vice.com documentary crew. That happens to be doing a piece on the Appalachian meth heads in the area up in the Northeast.
Okay.
This kicks off the most popular weekly segment on the Vice YouTube channel, Hey JJ, Why You So Cray Cray? So, tell me.
I'm gonna go with number 3 because number 1, I don't think that Jason would know how to use a computer.
Okay.
Like he
But Macs are so intuitive.
He first died like along like I think it was sort of like at the wasn't it the end of the 60s or early 70s? When did he first die?
He died in the. I guess you'd say it was the end of in the late 70s because the first one came out in 1980. So
yeah, it was late 70s.
Child.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think. I mean, yes, there would have been Macs, but there wouldn't be like the iMacs and all this stuff that we know now. And it's
but
for
even
that
with touchscreens, I mean, little babies know how to use Macs now.
Yeah, but if you wear a glove, like you need like
that is a plot hole
and stuff.
That's a plot hole I'm going to bring up to the producers at the next read through.
And it's for that same reason that I don't think that Jason would agree to co-own a record store with the cemetery keeper because CDs weren't around at the end of the 70s.
He just wouldn't have any.
He just wouldn't have any. He wouldn't care about them.
All right. You are correct, sir.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. It's true. I mean, Vice is so hot there. They have their thumb on the pulse of every new cultural trend. So it's true. Like, hey JJ, why you so cray cray?
Mm-hmm.
It does indeed become the hot new weekly feature on their channel. Okay, next. The new Nightmare on Elm Street movie comes out.
Okay.
And within this movie, there are some details that could inspire a spin-off.
Sure.
Here's the first one. Freddy breaks into a teen's dream about hang gliding. The teen is dreaming about hang gliding, and Freddy breaks in, ready to cause havoc.
Mm-hmm.
He finds that he feels an exhilaration beyond any he's known prior. From then on, Freddy secretly hopes that every successive teen will be dreaming of hang gliding or some other high-altitude-based sport from then on until he can fulfill his own dream somehow. He has this, like... It wouldn't be so much of a horror movie. It would be more of like a repressed desire or a life unlived to its fullest kind of film.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or one of Freddy's soon-to-be victims, who is a young artisan glassblower in the United States, becomes obsessed. The young glassblower becomes obsessed with making a perfectly square tissue box out of blown glass. So much so that he stops sleeping and completely misses all the murder action. He does, however, figure out how to make this glass box and becomes a rising star in the ceramics and glass sculpting world until he's brought low by the lifestyle, as some rockers call it.
Sure, yeah.
That's the other subplot. So it's not so much to do with Freddy, but more to do with this one teen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the last subplot or spin-off would be one of Freddy's soon-to-be victims works at the Mac store, and in toying with and while he's toying with her, he spends night after night giving her nightmares that she's still at work, late for work, etc.
Right.
In all this time, Freddy actually becomes quite proficient in how the Macs work and considers working there as an IT Genius Bar employee, maybe in a second crossover with Jason Voorhees.
I really like number 3.
Yeah?
I think
do
that
too.
I think that would actually, the new Danny Boyle movie's coming out.
Yeah.
This would be the time.
Yes.
This would be the time to do this.
Cash in on that.
I have to go with the glass blower though. I think it's got to
Yeah?
be the glass blower.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's hard to deny a coming of age story, especially
exactly.
when it's the classic rise fall rise
Yeah.
format.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Evil Dead. There's a new Evil Dead movie.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the Evil Dead movie, the cabin is destroyed. The
Again.
land, yes,
Yeah.
the land is bought, and the cabin is replaced by low or fixed income housing for
Okay.
Section 8 people or state-supported people.
Okay.
All the new residents that move into their shitty new apartments, they find a small pamphlet made of skin, their own tiny Necronomicon. Hilarity ensues. That's the first one.
Okay.
The second is Ash reveals he has a twin brother who is the exact opposite of himself. The evil makes a flip-flop switcheroo, so Ash is now his brother and vice versa. Ash is temporarily in the loving life rather than the Evil Dead until he is brought back, through whatever
Right.
heroics or anti-heroics he has to do.
Sure.
So that's that one, like the old fish out of water story
Right. Yeah.
of his
okay.
twin brothers' beautiful life.
Right.
And then the last one is the evil finds out the land that the land the cabin is on is for sale, and there are interested parties. Mysteriously, these parties drop interest, and in the cabin, and the cabin and the land stays untouched. It is alluded to that the evil may have resorted to selling good specimens of different colored leaves from the beautiful oak and elm trees of the Midwest on Etsy and other such artisan websites.
Sure.
It made enough to go back and buy the land, even though it was very difficult to establish an online identity and distinguish itself from the other handicraft artists online.
Sure. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Etsy one because
Yeah?
I'm not gonna go out and buy leaves on the internet. But if
Yeah.
I was going to buy leaves on the internet,
Mhm.
I would buy it from a forest.
yes,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what the evil finally resorts to. It realizes by the end of the movie, why am I trying to pretend to be something I'm not? I am a forest, and
You are- yeah.
thus it unlocks the secret to its own success.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You're natural at this.
Wow.
Yes.
All of these movies sound very interesting.
And there's the last one is the people under the stairs. They make a new people under the stairs
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason.
You know what? And I think
Yeah.
did we talk about this in our remake episode? I can't remember.
I don't think
but
so.
I think this one I think could actually stand the remake
It
for
could,
sure.
because it's
Yeah.
not good. It's
What do you mean?
people under the stairs. Like
You didn't like
I
it?
don't think it's good, but I think it's a good idea, and it's
Yeah.
a classic Wes Craven premise.
Mm-hmm.
But the execution of it just doesn't stand up to all the other good Wes Craven movies.
I don't
Even
know
though
if
it's close, but it doesn't quite make it
yeah.
for me.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if it helps that the kid from the Mighty Ducks is like the main kid in the People Under the Stairs.
Yeah,
Like that. I think that for me that just helped give it sort of like a way too sort of like juvenile,
right.
just kiddie kind of horror movie vibe.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like if they remade this one and they made it a little like they updated the whole, I don't know, like urban culture aspect to it.
Yeah,
And
that was
then
another thing
they-
that seemed a little unbalanced for me. Like you've got the kid from Mighty Ducks. But then
Yeah.
you've got Ving Rhames and his brother,
Yeah.
and like bringing in like Ving Rhames he's a serious dude. Whenever he's in
Yeah.
a movie, he brings the heavy
Yeah.
to that character,
Hmm.
and that movie just couldn't handle a heavy, angry black guy.
No. Or Ving Rhames.
Yeah, or Ving Rhames, even if he was
Because
happy.
That kid from the Mighty Duck was nuts.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
And
then you've got
Mighty
the,
Duck,
you know, I think they were called Mama and Papa or Mommy and Daddy in People Under the Stairs, but they were played by Big Ed Hurley and Nadine Hurley from Twin Peaks, and so that was hard to reconcile.
It was a weird movie. I think they could make it again and just make it a little bit more brutal. Like, I think,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I shit on the Evil Dead remake because, I don't know, like, again, it was okay, but I don't think, I don't know. Like, it was the wrong kind of gory, I thought.
yeah, I thought
But
it
if
was
they-
just the right kind of gory. It was
yeah.
it was so right that I completely ignored the plot, as you said.
Yeah. But yeah, no, with the People Under the Stairs, they could totally remake that and make it into like a bitchin',
Yeah.
scary ass.
I think it would be cool if they made it rougher, but not darker. Because I could imagine
It
like
was
some
pretty
studio
freaking
execs
dark,
making it,
yeah.
you know, I don't mean like story wise, but I mean like literally making it like this dark blue or green tinted
yeah.
kind of movie, and
Yeah.
throw some kind of shitty ghost story in there as well for good
Yeah.
measure. But if
Yeah.
they just made it like a darker story and more
Brutal.
consequences
Yeah. Yeah.
to having a basement full of stolen people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be cool.
I always get really upset when I watch a horror movie and like really only one or two people die.
Yeah.
Like that just sort of seems completely counter to to what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen People Under the Stairs for a little while, but I don't remember too many people dying.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, okay,
Anyway,
People Under the
okay.
Stairs. People Under the Stairs spin-off extravaganza.
Okay, so Mommy and Daddy are killed in the end, and in the afterlife, they meet Big Ed Hurley and Nadine Hurley, as well as other iterations by those two particular actors, such as them from alternate dimensions where they played in The Thornbirds and Somewhere in Time and Hudson Hawk. All of these iterations, played by these same actors, then play out their own
Right.
afterlife dinner party situation, kind of like
Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
So that's
Are they-
one.
Are they in heaven or are they in hell or are
It's
they
more of a purgatory.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more of a limbo situation.
Sure. Okay.
Second point, the child that lives at the end of the street, the quiet one who has eczema all over his arms, and he's kind of chubby, and he lives with his grandparents who always buy him striped earth tone shirts that are a little too tight. He doesn't get kidnapped ever. This is a relief on one hand, but also kind of adds to his self-conscious body issues. He goes on to grow up and invent a chain of cheap and easy fitness studios that catch on like wildfire. In his old age, he's rich and set in his ways, but lonely, until he finds that free spirit who teaches him to live and laugh and love again before he dies. And he dies, but right after she dies. So it's one of those movies.
Okay. I sorry, I really like he doesn't get kidnapped ever.
Yeah,
Like in his whole life. Never gets kidnapped.
never.
But and then other stuff happens. But like
Yeah.
can you believe it? Never kidnapped. Like
If you lived on a street or in a neighborhood where children are getting kidnapped left and right,
no, I
that
understand.
would kind of work this like double negative badness on
It's
you.
like what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Am I not good enough to be kidnapped?
Exactly.
Really? So what's
Yeah.
wrong? Yeah.
And the last point, the gold coins. I don't know if you remember that in the People
Yeah.
Under the Stairs, the gold coins were this thing. The gold coins are in our young protagonist's hands, but suddenly, when he thinks all is well and over, The Fratellis from the Goonies come out of nowhere to reclaim
Yep.
the gold, believing it to be part of One-Eyed Willie's treasure.
Yep.
Again, hilarity and antics ensue.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go number 3. That sounds like a movie. The first one sounds like the worst play, like ever. The second one is just like a weird. I don't know what's going on there. Like,
Yeah, no,
I don't
but
wanna,
the first
like-
one is guest.
I don't want to.
It's a
I don't
play.
want to watch a whole movie
It's
about
a-
a kid that isn't kidnapped. Like, that's what's wrong.
But what if I told you that the first one is a play, but then it's then adapted to the screen by none other than Ed Burns.
Did you say Ken Burns or Ed Burns?
Ed Burns.
Okay.
Wait, no, shit. What's his name? Yeah,
Ken Burns, the Civil War guy, or
No,
Ed Burns, the Brothers Macmillan guy.
the Brothers McMillan guy.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe I did the classic Big Human Dead misnaming.
No. I just think I like the idea that, you know, Civil War documentarian Ken Burns adapts this this really goddamn weird play
Yeah, you really,
into like a 15-hour movie.
yeah, it really took him into a different place. This play, and he just had to do it. This is his first dramatic narrative.
Yeah. You know, it's tempting, but I'm still gonna go with number 3
Okay,
because that just seems to make a lot more sense.
fair enough. All right, you're correct again.
Yeah, perfect.
Even though the Goonies is awful. Yes, take care of that. Jesus, was that a real recording of actual Canadian geese?
Yeah, no, that's real live Canadian geese.
Okay. Do you call them Canadian geese in Canada?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Right
I don't
on.
think there's such a thing as just a goose. Is there? Like, is there just like a regular goose?
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
there
that's
are
the white
other
one.
geese.
I think a goose.
I'm sure that's a different, like a specific type of goose.
Yeah. Yeah, like a normal goose is just white with an orange bill. But then the Canadian geese are the ones that are brown with the black head and the white band and the
Whoa.
vicious
Hang on.
attitude and the
Hang on a second.
really
We had
Awful
a
demeanor.
similar argument the other day.
Yeah?
What do you mean a normal goose?
I mean the ones
is-
that are not hell bent on some kind of revenge against humanity. The Canadian geese are rough. Those are some rough customers.
And we know that up here too. We don't fuck with the Canadian geese
No.
up here. Like,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, you don't mess with these guys.
Yeah.
No.
When
They
I
are
was growing up in
crazy
Michigan, we would
dudes, yeah.
get some of those fucking
Yeah.
rogues once in a while, and but a goose. When I say normal goose, I'm not talking about its
You're
nationality.
talking about
I'm
an
talking
American
about its.
goose. Yeah.
I'm talking
Like an
about
American,
a patriotic, blue-blooded American bird.
which I mean, compared to their northern brethren,
Yes,
are total pussies.
completely.
Like, the
They're
American
really-
goose, like,
Yeah.
not a tough goose.
I would not want an American goose in my corner.
No,
should I be in a
straight
fight.
out. No.
Give me the Canadian geese.
We've been trying. Canada's been trying for years to
Eradicate them.
Well, no,
To fight back for once.
Every November actually, we just shut our doors, and it's just that's goose season, and we don't leave. We just don't leave.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What do you mean the Goonies sucked?
It sucked.
Sorry, my goddamn phone was ringing, and I wanted to be. So you can't just run over that. How did it suck?
Like I dig the story, and all the characters are endearing, but it's just an hour and a half of people screaming. I never realized how much they're screaming.
Are we talking about horror movies right now? Like, I'm not saying
Kind
that
of.
Goonies is a horror movie, but
In a
like,
way.
if you're taking issue to Goonies being an hour and a half of people screaming,
But for no
Like-
reason, they're just screaming their lines. I didn't realize this until I've mentioned her before. My best friend Naja, I I totally understand. I was under the guise that Goonies was a great, moment in my history as well. And it was fun, and I looked upon it fondly. And then I showed her this movie because she was like, no, I have never seen that. And so I said, I can't believe you've never seen it. And I showed it to her. And she's like, oh, why is that one screaming his lines? And then the next person talked. And, oh, why is he screeching his line? Why is she screaming back? Why is everyone screaming in this movie? And I thought, no, maybe it's just the scene. It's a heightened, stressful scene. But watch it with that in mind, and it's really 70% of everything said is screamed or screeched or shouted to the next character right next to him. And this changed everything.
I'll have to watch it again. You know what? And okay, yes, because like precocious child actors,
yes,
bother the hell out of me for sure. But there are some movies that I can just get past that and just watch a great movie.
Yeah.
I always thought that The Goonies was one of those movies where I could just like, you know what, just chill out. Like, we can do this, but I'll have to watch it again with that in mind.
Yeah.
Touche. All right. I'll watch it again. And I'll let you know.
Right on.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman, however, is awesome. I
hate Corey Feldman. I hate that guy. I just hate him so much.
I can't speak for anything that as an adult, but I love his child movies. When he was a kid, I'm hard pressed to say any movie he was in as a child that I don't like. Oh,
let's save this. Let's save this for another day. I think we need to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about some.
I think we need to talk about '80s
stuff.
Brat Pack horror movies at a certain point. We need to address this because I need to go off on the Lost Boys.
Ugh, I love it. That's a great movie.
No,
it's a great movie.
It's not a great movie.
It's the greatest.
Not a great movie.
The more you fight, the more I resist. It's now the best movie ever made.
Damn it!
No, I'm sorry. I'll save it, and I'll save my judgment. You were open about the Goonies. I will keep an open mind about the Lost Boys. Maybe deserving their lostedness.
Okay. All right.
I would like to come back to our original topic, though, but not so much with the. For my part, I don't want. I'm done with the the implicit subplots and spin-offs.
Okay.
But there are some things in movies that I feel were vaguely implied, maybe by the movie or maybe just from my own fascination.
Okay.
And it's the first one is from Halloween 4.
Okay, just
I can't stop.
All right.
I can't
really?
stop.
Really? Would you just knock it off? Seriously. Okay, all right. Do it. Do it.
Just one,
whatever
okay.
it is you need to do.
It's one last thing from Halloween, and then I'm done with Halloween ever.
Getting the sort of vibe that you
Only
really overanalyzed Halloween for.
It could be.
Like, you and Cassia are the only two people in the history of anything who, after Halloween 4, like, you know, when you're watching a movie with somebody and just got to pause it every once in a while because you need to talk about just what happened. Like, it took you guys like 4 hours to watch Halloween 4. You kept on pausing it and talking about it. It's like, did you see that? That was brilliant. Like,
do you see how the camera swept across that wasteland?
It was inspired, yeah.
Yeah, the paper bag kind of blew across the street. I think that meant...
Let's get married.
Yeah. Let's have a Halloween 4 themed wedding.
Yeah.
No, there's one scene in Halloween 4, and then I'll drop Halloween completely. And it's a really good scene. And it's Dr. Sam Loomis, Donald Pleasance, is walking down the street because... Michael Myers stole his car, and he's walking, and he's dirty, and he's going to march all the way to Haddonfield from wherever he is, and it's implied that it's quite a few miles. He's not going to get there in any time soon. And this old beat up pickup truck stops in a huge cloud of dust and says, "Come on, I'll give you a ride." And Sam Loomis gets in the truck. And when he hops in the truck, he sees that it's this old priest. But this priest has clearly been defrocked years and years prior.
Okay.
And he's a drunk, obviously, as well. Like, he's got the sunken eyes and the hollow cheekbones, and he's got a bottle, like an unmarked, unlabeled bottle of whiskey. And he gets in the truck, and this dude, this defrocked priest, he's got a bottle, an unmarked bottle of booze, and he tells Sam Loomis, and he tells him, like, "Oh, you're a pilgrim, aren't you? You're also hunting the devil." And he says, the evil always has a face, but you can never kill it. And I've been hunting it for 20 years or 30 years or whatever. But without Sam Loomis saying anything that he's hunting a Michael Myers, that this dude just sees that he's also doing it. And so I feel like it's implied that this guy is also a hunter, or Ahab, or he's the Dr. Sam Loomis of his own horror movie. Right. And he just happened to drive through Halloween 4 and pick up Sam Loomis and give him a ride and that's it. Like, he's only in the movie for, I think it's a minute at most, his scene. But I always was completely fascinated with this scene because it seemed to connect everything. If this guy, who is hunting his own slasher, can accidentally, stumble into the Halloween franchise from wherever he came from, then that means there's more than one of these monsters in this universe, which could open it up to being all the same universe that all these movies I love are in. So what if you put all the hunters and pilgrims, as he calls them, in one place? What if they all converge on the same point, whether it's some kind of cosmic coincidence or whatever? I think that would be super interesting, to put all of the Van Helsings of our modern tales in the same space together and see what happened.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting question. Like, I mean, and the thing that drove me insane about all the superhero movies kind of prior to whatever, like Disney's Marvel creating, like, not just this mega franchise or whatever you want to call it. Like, none of the other superheroes existed in anyone else's universe. Although, like, even at the beginning of Batman, like, Michael Keaton is Batman. I think one of the goons at the beginning says, like, "Did you hear that, in somewhere, like, they say that there's a man who can fly," and all that shit. Like, they allude to that Superman is out there. So, like, why is everyone so goddamn surprised when Batman shows up?
Yeah.
Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, it's like you can't just not. Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, like, does Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, like, is this a world where, they're like a instant karma? Like, is you know what I mean? Like, like a world where instant karma is just, like, just doled out every time fucking somebody does something bad.
Right. Yeah. And also, like, if all of the pilgrims and hunters are in one place at one particular time, does that mean that all the slashers would also be in the same town at the same time? Not the same town as the hunters, but would they all cross vectors at some point where the hunters are not? It's like, what would that town be in for if Jason, Freddy, Michael, Pinhead, if all of the slashers just showed up?
Well, I mean, and it's interesting too that like you would think that if there was like a string of
Mm-hmm.
of crazy ass murders, someone other than like the deputy sheriff would show up
Yes.
to invest. Like we'll put our
Yeah.
like our second best man on this job,
Yeah.
and he will literally be the only one working on this case.
Yes.
You know, I know that 5 students have already died.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you kids. This
Yeah.
shit happens literally every day
Yeah.
in the world.
That would
You
also
can't just call the FBI
Yeah.
in every time, you know.
right. If
Yeah.
it was all the same world, that would also kind of explain how complicit the authorities are. It's not that they don't care.
Yeah.
Or it's that they honestly can't handle the workload. They're literally too busy to handle these 5 murders out in the woods because they're still cleaning up and filling out paperwork and trying to solve the last 50 murders from last month.
I've asked my brother this question before, and I think I've asked like most of my friends anyways, but like if you could live in any genre of
Mhm.
movie, what
Yeah.
would that be?
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And I think the worst one to live in would be action.
Rom-com. Oh yeah, action.
Because shit's just blowing up. Like you'd be walking down the
You'd
street,
never know.
and then all of a sudden, like a car chase would go by and flip over and fly into a goddamn building. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Now,
it's
are you just
never ending.
Are you just a resident of this world, or
Well, like
are
you're
you living
right?
in this
So,
genre as like the star of it?
I don't know. Like it's a world where this shit happens.
Okay.
Like kind of all the time.
Yeah.
Like every genre kind of has its own rules and all of that stuff.
Right.
So it's just a world where these rules actually
Yeah.
exist.
Okay.
So like you'd still be you.
Okay.
So but like in an
Yeah,
action
action would be
movie,
rough.
everybody kind of knows how to fight a little bit. Like
Yeah.
everybody can probably use a gun.
Yeah.
But like unless you actually are special forces, which I don't believe you are,
No.
you might not find yourself, drop kicking Navy SEALs.
Right.
But
Huh.
you might
Yeah.
be having a coffee and then Nicolas Cage
Mm-hmm.
in a flaming taxi cab just busts through
Yeah.
your the window there and you're dead. Like you're
Right.
smoked. Yeah.
Date over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Even with horror movies, it's very localized.
Mm-hmm.
But with action movies, you'd never know where it's going to pop up,
Yeah.
where it's going to spill over to.
Yeah. And I think with horror movies too, like it's really only like horrible. Like there's not a lot of collateral damage.
No.
In horror.
No, it's very
movies.
focused.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
And-
it wouldn't be scary. Because
Well, exactly.
you need to identify with the main protagonists,
Mhm.
and you need to go on their journey with them.
And you
if
need-
it's
yeah,
just
you-
for everyone, then who are you
Yeah.
going to relate to? Who are you going to be scared for?
Yeah.
Everyone? Come on. We're not philanthropists. We're not Mother Teresa here. We can't feel for everyone.
Would the stand be global?
Yeah, totally. Well,
Yeah.
no, I don't know. Like most of the people die actually. Like there's not a globe of people anymore.
Well,
to
but
go
that's the
with.
thing. We don't know because
The situation is
We
global.
only focus on America, and then
Yeah.
after, let's talk about the movie, I guess. But like once,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of halfway through, you're only focusing on 2 states
Right.
in America.
Yeah.
But like, there's got to be a dude in China,
Yes.
like something, like
Yeah.
something's going on in China, but the God and the devil are only in Utah and
Yeah.
Colorado and Nevada.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know what the hell's going on there.
Yeah.
But
And there's still that one chick in Hamburg, Germany,
yeah,
who was just kind of
like,
wandering around. What's
Yeah.
going on? What happened?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so like and in the horror genre, it really only seems like really, really bad things happen to the extraordinarily stupid.
Yeah. Yes.
So like
Yeah.
if you're not in high school,
Yeah.
and I guess like if you're like middle class and your kids go to high school,
Mm-hmm.
like you're more or less okay. You
Yeah,
know, you just gotta
essentially, yeah.
you just gotta be like if your kid's popular,
Mm-hmm.
if your kid's going to high school and they're popular, we might have a problem.
Right.
But
You don't want them to be too mousy or introverted.
no,
And you don't want them to be too extroverted or cool.
no.
You want your kid to just kind of blend into the background.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll be all right.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention this one from Hellraiser 3. I don't know if you remember this one. Hell on Earth. I love
Okay.
the Hellraiser series.
I
This-
stopped after 2. I'm like, this is perfect. Like I really liked 1 and 2. I swear to God,
Wow.
I just stopped at I didn't trust
That's weird, man.
the series to. Yeah.
Some would call you a wise person. Some would call you
Yeah.
a fool. I don't know.
That's. I have pretty good. I feel like I have pretty good luck in just you know what, that's enough, and I can just put my foot down. We're not going to continue anymore. Yeah. But anyways, yeah.
I feel like the first
Hellraiser
two-
3.
Yeah, the first two are incredible. I love the first two. Like that's
First
a
2 are
solid.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, the part 3 gets a little silly.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they were, I don't know. It kind of we've tossed around the phrase cashing in
Yeah.
on the show already today, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's warranted here. Like they were cashing in a little bit. They didn't actually know how to. It wasn't Clive Barker. He didn't write this one. He was only a producer or executive producer, and I think
Okay.
maybe only because it was his idea with the characters. Like he created the whole thing. But in this one, like there's one Cenobite. What Hellraiser is brought back to life after all the stuff that happens in part 2,
Mhm.
and he kills all these people in a nightclub, and some of these people come back as Cenobites for no real discernible reason other than it looks kind of cool. Well, they thought it would look kind of cool.
Right.
I wanted to recant that real quick before I finish that sentence. They thought it would look cool. And so the DJ of the nightclub comes back as a Cenobite, and he has like a disc, a CD port for a mouth, and he throws CDs at people and kills them like they're
It's just
ninja
it's
stars.
It's just
like
Soundwave
he's 12
from
years old.
Transformers. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
He comes back as Soundwave from Transformers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
the bartender gets turned into a Cenobite, and he actually has like a martini shaker in his hand that he uses. It's just full of gasoline, and he can breathe fire. It's completely ridiculous.
That's
it's
so
like,
sad. That's so
Yes.
sad that I mean, to die at work has to be like the worst thing ever.
yeah,
But to die at work and then to come back and be like,
something so ridiculous.
yeah, you know what? This did define me. Like, you know, like this is so sad. Like, you know,
yeah,
I
it did define me. What of it? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I
Oh,
died.
That's what you're gonna do.
I died before I could actually, you know, really figure out who I was.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm just the fucking bartender.
Right.
God damn it. Like, yeah, it would suck. It would just
Yeah.
suck. Yeah.
It's rough. And
Yeah.
so this, weird, shitty, I don't know, Corman-esque super villain superhero
Yeah.
horror showdown aside, there's one moment that is really cool that always stuck with me, and it's near the end, and I'm not going to bore you with the setup. It's just, it's kind of a dream sequence.
Too
and
late.
Hellraiser. Okay, well, let me try and level out this concrete of extreme excitement. That the main character, she has these flashbacks. Her dad died in the war, and she goes back to this dream as a comfort zone. In the end, she thinks it's safe, and she does something with the box, the lament configuration, blah blah blah, and it's just a trick. So she's in the middle of this beautiful green field, and it's like these beautiful green trees with these vines, and it's really like a cool setting. It's the middle of the day, and then she hugs her dead soldier father, but then realizes it's Pinhead. Pinhead tricked her. He's in this flashback dream fantasy of hers.
Okay.
And he's going to kill her now to get the box back. And it's kind of against the whole character of that they set up in the first two anyway. Pinhead was always kind of a cool character. But in this one he's going to kill her.
Yeah.
But it's in the middle of the day. It's like sunshine is shining on this character of Pinhead, and he's surrounded by bright green lush scenery. And he pulls this rusty knife off of his belt, which he always had. He had this in the first two movies as well. He just never took the knife. He never used the knife, but if you look, like, he has knives on him. And it's a scene of him smiling or laughing in the sunlight with a knife in his hand. And it just looked really good. Like, this moment looked really good. Not stupid, like Batman in the sunlight or something.
Yeah.
And so this kind of made me wonder, okay, he's got a knife. He can handle himself in the daylight. Not like he's a vampire, but like he knows what he's doing. And this made me wonder, why would he have a knife? Does he need to protect himself or attack some people sometimes? And does he need to go into action mode sometimes? And seeing him in this green, beautiful landscape makes me wonder what other scenery has he been in? What kind of dimensions or worlds or situations has he been in where it would be completely unexpected compared to the dark shadows and bright lights through the slats of woodwork that we are used to seeing him in.
Well, I think it's the beginning of number 2. We find out that he was a big game hunter, right?
A British soldier. He was a British soldier in World War One.
Was it World? I thought. Oh.
World War One or World War Two, but he came
had
across
the
box.
safari hat on and shit like that.
No, it was.
Really? I
It
swear
was
to God, I'm not making this up.
I know it was the British khakis, the British khaki uniform.
Whatever.
Yes.
Anyways,
I hunt big game. Man,
he looked like a fucking big game hunter.
I hunt the most dangerous game.
Yeah, no. So I mean, okay. So fine, he's a soldier. Like, yeah, he would have had other things. You would have known how to do some stuff. Sorry, totally. but talk, because we've had the roommate sort of Cenobite question answer sort of thing before, and I guess talking about the at the end of every movie Jason dies, and at the end of every movie Freddy dies, and at the end of every movie Michael Myers dies. Like, all of these guys die.
Yeah.
And it isn't until the next movie begins when they come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
The Cenobites don't die at the end of every movie.
Home.
They just go away.
Yeah.
So seems strange to me why Pinhead would even care if she had the box or not. It's like, hey, you know what?
That was the thing.
Like, I'm ageless. It's you're gonna live for let's say another 50 years. Let's say you live for another 50 years. That means nothing to me. I'll just come back and I'll get the box when.
Agreed. Yeah, part 3 completely devolves into buffoonery.
Yeah.
There's no bones about it. But it was just this one image that really sparked my imagination, because then I couldn't help but think of Pinhead in action-oriented situations where what if he has to hunt down someone, or what if he has to fight back? What if he finds someone who he actually has to fight? Some kind of entity or person or whatever. Because he's clearly held to some kind of laws of physics and rules once he enters any particular dimension. When he enters our dimension, it's not like he has complete control over everything. He's not ethereal by any means. He has to use doorways. You can run away from him. You can keep the box from him. It's not that he's completely all-powerful, but he's super powerful in his own way. And I wonder, in this one image of him in a green field with a knife, made me wonder like what other surprising situations could I see him in? Even though the situation from part 3 is ridiculous.
You know what I'd like to see?
Yeah.
I'd like to see a pelican swallow the box.
Yes.
And then, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And then, you know, like hilarity ensues, essentially. Right. You know.
Because he keeps popping up wherever the pelican lands on a pier. And then from like underneath, you see the light kind of shine slowly through.
Yeah.
Because he comes through, and then Pinhead and his entourage come through.
Yeah. And they walk up.
You have the box. We can't. hey. Because the pelican just flies away.
And like, you know, the pelican opens its bill, and the box is floating in there, and they go in to grab it, but like the box drops, and a fish comes up and spits water at Pinhead, and he's like, and then this is going to be the best movie.
This is the one. This is the one.
We finally did it.
Yeah.
So tell us what other sort of movie spin-offs like you think would be interesting.
Totally.
You know,
and I feel like there's another episode in this as well.
There could very well be. Yeah. I think
because there's a few. There's still one more from Halloween 4 that I didn't mention.
All right. Well, just
that I'll save it.
Yeah.
Save
it for. I'm sure it'll be relevant next week.
I'll be ready next time.
But if you we talked about the Professor Moody adventures from, the Evil Dead series. Rob talked a lot about the Halloween B-sides.
Yeah, it's true. And there's still a bunch in my head. There's Bub from Day of the Dead. There's one from Videodrome. I would really like to talk about Chopping Mall. There's really a lot of moments in a lot of these older horror movies where they just kind of mentioned something cool and then just breezed right past it. And so, if you guys and gals have anything that sticks out in your mind, leave it in the comments. Let us know, or email us at bighumandead@gmail.com, or hit us at Twitter at WaterlooGN. And I'd really dig to know. I'd really like to know.
This was a fun episode. I think this is, and like you said, it's all when you're talking about horror movies or sci-fi movies. Probably less so much like rom-coms, but any any fun genre, I guess. Like, wouldn't it be cool if is always a fun question.
Totally.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Anyways, so thanks again for listening, boils and ghouls.
Yeah, really appreciate it, and subscribe wherever you're listening to us at. That way, we catch you next week.
Yeah.
And because we really appreciate you coming back all the time.
Yeah, and if you guys, it's not really fair because we wouldn't really be having the conversation like with you,
right?
We're not running. I don't think we're running out of ideas. But if you guys have an idea that you'd like for us to talk about, we can do that. I think we can work that. We can work that in.
We'll throw it into the mix.
We'll take it under advisement. How's that sound?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Confer with your cohorts and see what you come up with. Yeah, and tell a friend. Tell a friend about the show if you like it.
Yeah.
No? Don't tell a friend.
Whatever. Tell your friends,
someone
or
who's not
keep
a
it to yourself.
Yeah, tell an enemy.
Yeah. That's like
yes.
A foe.
A foe.
All right, we're done. Okay. Good night, Rob.
Good night, buddy.